Yesterday, we brought you the heartbreaking story of a Canadian soldier who returned home from Afghanistan only to take his own life 3 years later. Tonight, Tracy Tong takes a closer look at the mental health issues affecting our soldiers and how the Canadian military is responding to the growing problem. Tracy.
Well, Gore, the Canadian Forces confirms there were 13 suicides within the military for all of 2012, and that's the last year they've made public. But here's a new alarming statistic for you. 8 soldiers have taken their own lives in the last 8 weeks, and in each case, a family is left behind struggling to understand why.
And him, when he was born, he was just maybe not even a week old there. That was the happiest day of my life.
But now, Felicita Martinez is going through some of the hardest days of her life. A week ago, she buried her 28-year-old son and soldier, Camilo Sanhueza Martinez. 3 years after returning from a tour in Afghanistan, he hung himself in his Kingston apartment.
I know he's seen a lot. And all those other guys, I know they've seen a lot. And all those boys that come back, they have something in their eyes. You see them, they're different.
Camilo was never diagnosed with PTSD. He never sought professional help. He's one of 8 Canadian soldiers that have died in apparent suicides in the last 2 months.
This is a health issue. These men have sustained mental wounds in Afghanistan, Rwanda, Somalia, across the globe. And we have to treat these wounds. And without compassion and understanding and elimination of the stigma, we can't treat them effectively.
The military allowed CityNews to speak with soldiers who were posted in Afghanistan with Camilo, but that came with conditions.
I just want to get back to the agreement that this was a personal reflection interview.
Commanding officers were present, supervising the interview, and they only allowed personal experience questions.
PTSD is very real for soldiers who come back. Did you experience it in your own way?
My personal opinion is that anyone who's been over there has some form of PTSD. You can't go through anything like that and not have PTSD. But I mean, that's my personal opinion.
And after 8 months at war, these soldiers tell me there's little time to return to normal life.
For myself and the guys on my rotation, we had decompression in Europe, and it was a couple of days that would allow us to transition going from a theater of operations to going back home.
One of the resources you'll typically find on any Canadian Forces base, like here at CFB Borden, is the IPSC. That's the Integrated Personnel Support Center. They're dedicated to helping veterans and current soldiers. But it's up to the soldier to seek help. And here's the catch. Some medical information could be disclosed to their chain of command.
Why do others not seek help?
They're terrified. They're terrified of coming forward because they're proud and strong. They're afraid of coming forth also because their career will be in jeopardy now. It's simple as that. If you have a mental wound and it's not cured effectively, you're on the way out.
We asked National Defense what changes they'll be making to their mental health strategy in light of the recent suicides. There was no direct answer to that question. Instead, they sent a convoluted statement. The mental health strategy is intended to build on earlier efforts that established our current mental health system by further improving mental health in the CAF and reducing the impact of mental illness on CAF personnel.
When you have an obligation, you sent them to war, and you're not fulfilling that obligation at this time.
A lot of guys out there hurting, suffering, and they don't know where to go.
Now, there's a cry for help in Ottawa as well. NDP leader Thomas Mulcair has written a letter to Prime Minister Stephen Harper calling for urgent action to address the mental health issues within the military. Harper says he's working with the Canadian Army to address those issues.